Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpie. So if you want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. So, here we go. We're going to do a new series. And remember, we're going to do it my style because this is how I draw. So, I'm going to draw them a little more realistic, but how realistic can you really get with a Mutant Ninja Turtle? You know what I mean? So we're gonna have a little fun with creative license, artistic license is what it's called, and I think it's possible I may do like all of them. Well, I mean, yes, all the Ninja Turtles, absolutely, but I mean like I may go into like the Crazy series. Baxter Fly, all those, everybody. I mean, why not, right? I mean, let's just get crazy with it. But yeah, so I got an idea. I know what I want to do. Let's see if I can pull it off and see if we can do something fun and crazy. So the idea, like I said, is they're going to be a little more realistic, with slightly more realistic parts. Well, you've seen the picture. You know where I'm going with this. But the idea is that it's going to be, I want to say realistic, but we're talking about Ninja Turtles. Well, the point is, where I'm going is with this is they don't have fingers. I mean, they've got the little claws, almost like a little nail type kind of thing, talon, I guess. But since they don't, it's going to get a little tricky. Giving them fingers to hold stuff, and it's going to be tricky with that mask because they don't have the back of the head. I mean, it's like a thumb. You know what I mean? It's like, so if it turns here and bends and whatnot, where are you going to tie the back of that? So I'm going to tie it back inside here and have the skin kind of pushed over and hiding it. So so we're getting a little bit of creative license to do it the way we want to get it to look the way we want. Does that make sense? I mean, hopefully it does, and you know what I'm talking about because you've seen the picture. You know where I went with this, and it makes sense to you. And the trick is going to be giving it or how much detail I'm going to give it. And it's what I say for everything, is how much detail are we going for with these, because I want color to take care of it and not so much the Sharpie. But I mean, the Sharpie's fun. It's so much fun to do. So that's the trick, is trying to figure out what I want to do, what I want to allow myself to create, Okay, so this sketch worked out pretty well. I may just switch over to the Sharpie. I'm just going to define it just a little bit because, like I usually say with the other sketches, is there's only so much I'm going to get away with. Only so much I really need to do right now because the color, the detail in the Sharpie is going to be, again, done with the Sharpie. So I don't need to draw every single detail, just the basics, Ooh, you know what? I was going to do the mask flying out that way, but let's do it this way. Let's do like a real dramatic tie off that way. And I think also what I'm going to do is, you know, we'll go ahead and give him like a belt with a couple of little pouches and things like that, you know, but not crazy stuff. Like, okay, we'll wrap up the legs. We'll do that. But because it's going to be like this turtle-ish looking detail, there's only realistic stuff I want to add. Okay, I think that might be it. I mean, I think I can stick with just a quick sketch. So anyway, what I was trying to say is I'm not going to add like knee pads, elbow pads, stuff like that. You know, I'm just going to try to keep it a little realistic. All right. Okay, I think I'm ready. Yeah, that's quick. That was a quick sketch. So, got me a brand new kneaded eraser. Sometimes you got to spend on those supplies. And I'm just going to erase just slightly because it worked out. Usually what I tell you is erase the sketch lines and keep the confidence lines, but the sketch worked out so well that I don't really need to erase too much. Okay, let's welcome everybody that skipped and get going with the Sharpies. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen. Mostly the fine point, but depends a little finer than the fine point. You can find things that the fine point can't quite find. I've sketched the entire thing out. I've erased a majority of it, but left myself enough of a ghost of an image that can guide us on this Sharpie adventure. And I think I'm going to go ahead and start with some tiny, tiny details with the Sharpie pen. Now, what I was talking about this is that you've seen it, you know the picture, you know where we're going with this. And so I'm gonna kind of use this just to build and then we'll get crazy, okay? So for the eyes, we're gonna give them kind of a droopy lid. So something like this. I'm gonna do the other one over here. It's kind of the same way. And then build like a little bit of eyelids, you know? But also, I have to be careful because there's going to be a mask around these. So I'm trying to build eyelids plus a mask. Does that make sense? And I talked about this in the sketch, is that it's going to be based on a realistic looking, in so many words, turtle. Because, you know, even though it is based on, you know, a comic book of crazy proportions, yeah, I want to give it some realism, but again, it's a, you know, it's a crazy idea, so I don't have to get worried too much about being very specific. So let me see, I'm playing around with also like a look. And basing it on, you know, a realistic-ish turtle look. But again, you know, a fun idea is basically what it is. So what I was talking about too is that because there's no, it's not like this. They don't have a back of the head that you can tie the band around, you know, his headband or the mask. Their head is more like this, and so there's nothing to tie it in. So I'm kind of making the mask like it is tied way back here, but there's also skin kind of covering it up, so it's going to kind of disappear. The front view you can't really see, so I'm not too worried about it, but the side view is where you would really see a difference. And so that's kind of where I'm playing around with the way it looks. Here, it's okay. And because we're working with more of a profile view, or now I get a profile, a front view, I'm just kind of using that as well. This is my look right here. Okay, and so I'm going to switch over to the big Sharpie in a second. I just wanted to draw a few of the basic lines and go off of this. All right, so I think that's all I really want to do because of the way his head is turned. You can't really see the top of his head. We'll do something like this, and that's all you can really see. Okay? Alright, I'm switching over. So since he's looking straight at you, ooh, you know what I want to do? I want to do the headband, or not the headband, I keep calling it the headband, the mask where it's tied up, I've got it kind of flowing back. I want to do that before I forget. Let me do this real fast. So if it's flowing back here, I'm just going to kind of do something like this. That, and we'll do another edge, because obviously there's 2 points like that. You just say it's kind of back behind itself. Okay, let me also kind of, this is a big fat Sharpie. It's called Sharpie Fine Point, but it's a big fat Sharpie, so I just want to add some points real fast so it's not just nice and round. So, okay, so here we go. I'm going to build off this. And again, I kind of have him, you know, in a traditional fighting stance. And I'm just going to build on the look of a turtle. Kind of a bumpy, old, crusty turtle. And I think I'm going to do some scales. I was trying to debate whether I wanted to do that with the color or do it with the Sharpie. And I think I'm just going to do it with Sharpie. Let's go ahead and do his sword. I've got it holding up over here, so I've got his shoulder up like this. And I think I'm going to go ahead and start doing some of the scales. So what I'm going to do is just kind of play around with like that. And again, I think I want to do more with color, but just little highlights like that, you know, just to accent that it's a scaly, bumpy skin. Ooh, this Sharpie's dying. It's time to switch out. I'm going to finish up this one, then we'll go to another one. Okay, let me draw his underarm here. There's going to be his side. There's the elbow up. Now, he's holding his sword, so I kind of need to do that first. And let's just eyeball it. I'm not going to worry about a straight edge. But that means I got to draw his hand. See, his thumb's going to be up front. And this is what I was talking about in the sketch too, that they don't have fingers, but they've got like little talons, you know, like little toe claws. So I'm just going to use those as fingers. And then we'll figure out later on if that's going to work for everything, you know. Okay, so for his sword, let's see. Let's draw like the little square handle, something like that. I don't want to connect it yet because I want to draw the blade, and I kind of want to do the blade like this with the handle. I want to make sure that I draw them the same way. So let's go ahead. I can't turn my paper, so I got to kind of move with everything. So like I said, I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm just going to go and come down like this. Okay, I want it here. I kind of curved it a little. I'm going to pick it up, put it down. Come to here for the handle. Let's see if I can do the other side just as well. I didn't intend on curving it, but I kind of like the way it looks. So we're keeping that curve. Yeah, that worked. That worked. Oh, okay. So now I was about to call it a day. We're done. Okay, so since that's done, I'm gonna give him a hand. Get it? Okay, and let me add some detail. Again, let me close off a few things. Sometimes I can only control the amount of detail that goes into it. With another Sharpie is what I was trying to say. Boy, I just don't have my words today. But you know what? What do I always say? I never have words, you know? So I'm not embarrassed. I always say that I'm a drawer, not a speaker. sometimes I get quiet because I'm concentrating too. Alright, so let's see. His shell is going to come down here. Let's go ahead and do the edge so you see where we are. I got a couple pictures of turtles here just to make sure I draw the shells and things like that as close as I possibly can. That looks good. I got some funny pictures too. Like, look at this. Look at this tiny little turtle. Look at that. Look at that little turtle. That's kind of what I'm basing some of it on too, because if they're Ninja Turtles, teenage, I'm trying to go by young turtles, you know, making them look really, not silly, but, you know, youngish. So I'm looking at tiny turtles. Then they get sucked down what's it called, the YouTube hole, or the Google, just stuck looking at all kinds of stuff. Okay, so do like that. I'm gonna do this one up. I'm gonna stop right there because this arm is gonna be lower. This is gonna be the back of his shell, basically. Okay. There we go. This is armpit. This arm is raised. All right. So this arm's going to be down. So I'm going to come over here. Again, add some of those little scaly bumps. His bicep and his forearm is going to do huge. That's kind of why that one was so big. And so this hand is going to be like this, but again, because it's like a scaly claw hand, we're going to play around with scale fingers like that, okay? Or claw fingers. There we go. So see, I extended them enough that they may bend like this, but you know, it's that artistic creativity. You know, you want to give yourself enough creative license to do whatever you need, you know. And I want to draw all the scales because they're like if you look, there's like a connecting, like little bumps, like circle bumps. I want to, but I think again, color would help out, and also we can just kind of accent, you know. Sometimes I think it looks better if we just kind of highlight with the Sharpie, because I've said this before plenty of times that Sharpies scream. They're not subtle in any way, so they don't let you just kind of whisper. When you do something with Sharpie, it stands out. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Okay. All right. So I am going to give him a belt. I mean, obviously he needs something to hold his sword on his back. And instead of it going across, I'm just going to give him a belt, since they all have belts. You know, I'm going to look at it that way. So I'm just going to tie like a rope in the middle. I'm going to tie a knot. Something like this. And again, I'm not worried too much if it's exact, not if it's perfect. Just something like that where it's just like a wrapped around, you know, knotted belt. And one end down there. Do one like this. Now I'm going to do a cross end. And I think I will do like a couple of, you know, pouches, you know, the standard superhero has a pouch type kind of thing. Because I guess also if they're going to have like stars and things like that, you know, they got to have a place to carry them. Snacks, and whatnot. Plus, I mean, come on, it looks cool, right? I'm going to add a little bit of I want to say 3D-ness to it, but that's not a word, is it? A little bit of realism. That's the word I'm looking for. A little technique, a little style, just to kind of give it some life, you know? All right. So technically, these lines should all go through here too, but we're not going to do it on all of them. Just something like that, just to kind of accent, you know? There we go. Now let's do it across the other side, then we'll connect everything with a shell. I'm going by the sketch, that's why it's just kind of floating. I know where it's going to be. And I liked how I did 2. Oops, I got crazy there. I liked how I did 2 on that side, so let's do 2 on this side. We'll do a bigger one over here. I think that's where he carries his cell phone, you know, something like that. Okay, again, a little bit of detail. Little things like this are going to make your picture come alive. And let's give it an edge. Okay. All right, I like that. How's yours coming out? Awesome. Okay, looking good. So now I can just connect them because I know where it's going to go, again, according to my sketch. But I know I'm not drawing through that stuff, because you always want to draw what's in front first. That way, whenever you draw something behind, you only have to draw what you can see, you know, and you're not drawing through the top portions. So I like drawing what's on top first. I'm just going to do like this, maybe accent like a shell type kind of thing there. Come down this way, something like that. We're going to bring it down, and see how we left it open there? We're going to open it down here too. This, and then let's see, so let's go ahead and draw the legs, and then we'll do again the shell back behind it. But you know what, let's do this before I forget. Let's add a little bit of shell connectivity, you know, something like that. And I'm not going by a picture here, I'm just kind of making this up. Some kind of, you know, where the shell grows together. Something like that. There we go. Plus it broke up that just big blank spot. You know, it gave us a little something. Okay, so again, we're just going to do some legs. So I'm going to do just like we did the arms. We're going to have stubby thin parts. There's a knee. I'm not going to give him a knee pad, but let's go ahead and give him bandaged up legs. They're not bandaged, but wrapped, you know, kind of like when he's fighting and he can kick and whatnot, you know. And I'm just making it up, so it's not like it has to make sense, but I'm just explaining why I'm doing what I'm doing. But again, I'm going to give him thicker digits, thicker forearms, I guess. But okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I like doing this with the with bandages. I'm going to do bumps like this. Just it kind of accents that there's wraps around as opposed to just a line through, you know. It kind of gives it another level. And I'm not really planning it, I'm just kind of doing this. I don't care if it's the same as the other side. I'm just getting it random, okay? And let's go ahead and draw the toes, and then I'll show you what I did there. So again, for the toes, we're just going to do like we did with the fingers, just like a talon toe. And obviously they've got 4 or 5, right? Like all of us, like digits. So we'll do that. Okay. Connect them down to the bottom. Let's add some detail with the small Sharpie. Then we'll do the other leg. All right. Okay. So again, I'm gonna add some what do you call it? Scales. Oof. Couldn't even think. We'll do this for the knee pad. Instead of a knee pad, we'll do like a big scale. All right. I like that. That's a good idea. Good idea, guys. Good idea. All right. Okay, so for straps, I'm just going to do this. And I like doing stuff like this because it kind of, see how it looks like it's something wrapped over his actual leg because it's got a level to it. But you also got to remember that it's not just, you know, straight like that. You got to wrap them through. So you give it another level, another layer by doing something like that, you know? And not making them even too. You gotta kind of mix it up. And see how I didn't plan it? I just kind of went with it. You know, what happens, happens. There we go. Awesome. I knew this was going to be fun because we get to do crazy stuff like that. It doesn't have to make sense. It's just a detailed looking fun character. Okay, so let's do the same thing here, and then we're going to do the back of the shell and the tail, okay? So same thing, just legs down to the big fat part right there. Okay, and again, like I said, just kind of do up, down, up, stair step it, you know, kind of go like this. But not the same space. Kind of mix it up, you know? Just don't plan it. Just don't try to do it specific, you know? But follow your sketch. Obviously follow your sketch. Okay. Alright. So we're gonna do like we did over there. We're gonna give him a scale knee pad. Ah, that was such a good idea. I'm really excited about that. I don't mean to keep patting myself on the back saying like, man, I'm a genius. But when something good happens, come on, pat yourself on the back. Okay. See, now this one, I just kind of went all over the place. So, you know, let's wrap that one up. Let's double that one up. Again, go through on a couple of them. Do a behind layer. Just to, again, mix it up. Because remember, the top one isn't always the one that's on top, you know? Sometimes, here, let's do this. Sometimes it's underneath. You know what I forgot to do? Finish up the toes. Okay, so let's do this. And this one's a little different. That one's covering more to the toe. This one's a little bit more up to the ankle. Oh well, you know, I'm okay with that. Because it's not always going to be perfect. You know, you just do what you got. All right. Awesome. Yeah, this is going to be a fun series. I'm going to do more. I'm definitely going to do all the crazy characters too. I think I'm going to do Kang, you know, all the weird ones. Let's just get nuts and have fun with Ninja Turtles, right? Why not? Okay, so before we finish, let's do the back edge of the shell. We'll give him a little tail. Little tail, we're just going to throw off like this, off to the side, like that. Okay, because you can't really see it anyway. So. And you know, no offense, I'm going to go ahead and say it. You also got to be careful that it doesn't look like his privates. You know what I mean? It's a tail, but you know, it's in a perfect spot that it could look like that. So let's just throw it off to the side rather than come straight down, or you know what it's going to look like. You know what I mean? All right. So I'm just going to add a few more lines, like it's a shell, something like that. And there you go. I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So here's how I colored it. Tell me what you think in the comments below, or show me what you did in our Discord group. Just have fun and make it your own, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with How I Draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.